This is a Razzle Dazzle Fireside, first one of 2025. I am Taylor Rick. Yes, I wrote that, and I made that. Yeah. I'm still waiting for Knox. He should have been here by now. I don't see... there he is. There he is. And he jumps in right at the last moment as the music stops. Imagine that. How's it going, Knox? Crickets.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Early for me still.
It sounds early for you. All right. Let's kick it off. First and foremost, we've had a very, very busy week in this last week. I think there's been more drama across the Fed, all parts of the Fed, silent and everywhere else, than we've had in probably, I don't know, well, definitely all year, but probably more even than last year. It's been quite a bit. It shows no sign of stopping, so why not have a fireside today, right? First one in 2025. So welcome. Thanks for being here. We got 162 folks here. That's decent. That's decent, Knox.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Now, so we're going to talk about a couple things. First and foremost, let's just get the bigger shit that happened between this morning and last night off the table. It's an internal thing going on with Pand. Pay to Win has stepped in as a CEO of Pand, and things will be smooth sailing from there. Whether or not Joda decides he wants to FC again is completely his choice. Obviously, we want him back. We want him FCing. So if you want to send him a DM and say, Joda, we love you, man. Come FC with us. Please do so. Otherwise, all good on my end. No issues. So let's move on to the other topic, the main thing, which is standings. That's the main thing we are here to talk about. It's going to be a little boring, but we really need to talk about it Razzle Dazzle wide because it impacts all of us. As you know, over the past couple of weeks, the standings updates that NetEase has been shoving on everybody are now fully in-game and implemented. You can have a maximum of the alliance itself. Any alliance can have a maximum of 3 alliances set blue. That'll cost you a smooth $3 bill a week to do that. And then, of course, you can have 10 corps, up to 10 corps set, individual corporations set for free. They don't cost anything. But as soon as you go over that, it's now costing you between 10 and 15 and 15 and 20, I think, or maybe it's 10 and 20 and 20 to 30, whatever. And it's chump change compared to the other fee, but well, actually, no. On the alliance side, the higher up you go, it gets a little bit more. But on the corporation side, it's like 200, 300, 500 million. But this is per week, right? Also, on the same side with alliances itself, they've now set these to where the alliance, max cap of 30 corps. However, once you go over 20, you're spending like 4 or 5. I forget what the number is now off the top of my head. It's 4 or 5 billion per week when you go over 20. It gets higher. So you're looking at like max out an alliance if Silent Alliance had 3 alliances blue and had 30 corps in it, you'd be paying 64 bill a month. I think that's where the total comes out just to do that. So that sucks. That sucks big time, but it hurts pretty much everybody else in this game more so than it does us. We were prepared for it. We had things ready for it. Silent Alliance is now down to that 20, so our costs aren't stupid. And we've cut down our number of blues. And as Knox and Trog is famous for, they just said, fuck it, we're not going to blue anybody. So,
much simpler.
Much simpler, yes. So that's issue number 1. Because of that, there are some of us that are here today that are no longer blue to one another. There are some of us in certain corporations that are no longer inside of Alliance proper, like Silent itself, right? So you can't really see it on the map. The map is effed up. But Red 1, for instance, is no longer in Silent Alliance. You can tell by looking in Pure Blind. We got Citadels there, and they're not in Shush. But if you look at the ones that are in Fade, they show up as if they're in Shush. So, but they're not. So Red 1 as a corp is actually a real corp, right? It's got It's one of Big's corps. It's got real people in it. It's got real citadels in it, but it's not in Silent Alliance. So we have that set at the corporation level or at the alliance level for standard blues. What I'm getting at with this, though, is just using that as an example. What I'm getting at, though, is we're now in a phase of the game where things are not as clear cut and dry as what they have been over the past 4.5, almost 5 years now. This will be the 5th year anniversary coming up in August. So we are going to have areas that are considered go and areas that are considered no go, and we're going to have areas where you're going to see guys that are gray, that are neutral. I'll just say, yeah, neutral, not set to neutral in your personal standings, because you can't do that at an alliance level, by the way. That's only a personal standings thing. So that's not an option at the alliance or the corporation level for setting blues. You're going to have areas that you're going to enter in at your own risk, even though they're allies. So we've talked for a very, very long time about Pure Blind being a rental area. Really don't need to be roaming in that area. You just don't. It passed through, fine. You want to gate camp certain areas, fine. RQH is fine. Over towards Torinos and all that. Obviously, Bot 5 has that incoming system. That's fine. But we're not going to roam Wolf. Wolf isn't blue, but they're there kind of with us, right, in Pure Blind. So even though they're neutral.
Even touching into that too, because I know it's like a lot of my guys in the past have asked about going into Pure Blind, or they're roaming around, and they're like, well, they're gray. It's like, yes, they're gray. And I mean, to be honest, sure, you can go shoot them if you really want to, but like, that's punching down to a level that's embarrassing, right? They're like, at the end of the day, it's people who are renters. It's like, if you are actually a semi-competent PvPer, it's like, I'm pretty sure you can pick anywhere else in the map.
Yep.
You can go harass instead of like, I'm gonna go, I'm a UFC fighter and I'm gonna go to a kindergarten and beat up all the kids there and show people my kill notes. Ridiculous.
Right. Yep, exactly. You want to go beat up on someone under, way under class, go to Pravi.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have AOA right next door. Alphabet Soup is really close to us as well. Fountain's really close. I mean, there's the whole map, right? We have the whole map, so it's pretty easy. Pretty easy to get somewhere. Antiplex networks are fantastic. I mean, you can see them in game. There's no secret how good our ANSI network is and getting better. We're making some changes there. So, at any rate, same thing though also goes for Cloud Ring. We'll touch on a touchy subject for the last week or two. We've got a guy that's in a Lancer over there in Trog, Edwin's alt Brutix Green, who is lancing anything that comes through. And I've told people for probably 4 months now, and I've told the CEOs to tell all of you, that's part of the reason why we're having this kind of discussion just out in the air, because I've told the CEOs a while back to tell all of you, there's no reason for anybody outside of Trog to be going through Cloud Ring. There just isn't. You've got no reason whatsoever. If you say, hey, I'm trying to get the Syndicate, hey, we have ANSI networks to get you down there just as fast. Put F7C on, what do you call that on your avoid? Put it on your avoid list on your AP map, and you're done. Problem solved. Any questions on that part of it? Because I want to make sure that everybody understands that. There's no reason for anybody in Silent. There's no reason for anybody in VVV. There's nobody in the rest of Razzle Dazzle to be APing or running through Cloud Ring. We don't need to go over there and think we're going to run ANOMs. We don't need to go over there and think we're going to run CNDEDs or CTRs. None of that stuff. Nope, Reaper. So if you go over there, you're entering at your own risk, and you're not going to get reimbursed for your loss. So, not even autopilot.
Yeah, to counterbalance that too, Frog should not be doing CNDSs or CTRs up in Declan or running around in Fate. It's like, we'll stick, if we're in Declan, it'll be in our SOV. If otherwise, we'll be in Cloud Ring and stuff. There's a lot of reasons for this. There's things we do for certain stuff in Cloud Ring, and when people come in there doing some things, they're kind of disrupting some activities. So it's just easier, especially nowadays, I think, for a lot of people who've been around or had supers for a long time. We've been pretty the whole mentality has always been it's better to run something as soon as it spawns, because if we're not running it, then there's there's 3 gates or whatever throughout the map. Someone else is gonna run it, so can't really hold the things. But we're at the point now where super proliferation and stuff is at a level that's kind of nuts in comparison to what it was, a year ago. So there's an endless amount of people ready to do stuff. There's not enough things now to go around, at least in our area. So when people come into it that aren't living there and running stuff, it's generally not well received.
Right. It's the same issue in Declan and Fade, really, where if you're really trying to find CTRs in those 2 areas, good luck. You better have just noticed it just spawned and go.
Yeah, I think a big thing too with, for those who know, I'm sure most people realize Cloud Ring is not great T10 Sov. You can't do regular ratting there. So if you're doing, whatever, rallies, purple missions, specials, event anomalies, like those are where the income lies. So
exactly,
there might not be someone running it that second, but we're pretty good at killing anyone and hunting people down that come into our space in various areas. So while there may not be someone who is actively going to go grab said thing at that particular moment, there are people that are keeping other people from running them. So when people come in and start taking them, people get shooty, and Trog is not exactly known for, being the smartest of people, so it's just easier to...
Is what it is. Is what it is. You're gonna have to start in other areas too. This might not necessarily impact the Trog members, because I know you guys are busy in your own areas. But when it comes to tribute, well, I guess this does come into play for Trog, because you guys do kind of go in there and MTECO and camp sometimes with Dead and some other folks. Dead does have Sov again over in tribute. They're part of a little project. I'll just call it that, a little project that we have going on in tribute. Anything at 15W and to the left on the map, or to the west on the map, kind of consider that the same sort of type of area as Pureblind is, but with it mixed in. Obviously, we've got Tilo in there. Swiftness and his guys are all in there with their Sov in their pocket as well. So, you're gonna have to go through there. This is where it gets really kind of, because of blue standings, this, that, and the other, it gets a little dicey. You're going to have to go through there. We're CTAing through that area quite a bit. We're gate camping MTACO, all that kind of stuff. We have silent proper Sov there. We're going to have more silent proper Sov there. So it's a little bit of a clusterfuck, just to be honest, in terms of the gray, don't shoot this guy, don't shoot that guy. And when we're fleeting together, everybody's going to have to just get back to that mentality, really hard line mentality in our fleets. Do not shoot something unless your FC tells you to shoot it. Don't even lock it unless your FC tells you to shoot it. Obviously, there's an exception to Logi pilots there, but I mean, do not shoot it unless your FC calls it out. In our fleet on Friday night when we killed the Fortizar, AOA's, I don't know if that was their first Fortizar that they anchored or whatever, but when we killed it, it's definitely the first kill mill in the game for Fortizar. We had guys in our fleet that were shooting Run and Reaper, both in X, because they showed up red, but they were there shooting the Citadel as well. So yeah. Don't do that. So thankfully those weren't like marshals that he killed. So X is not red. It just, for some reason, in my overview, they were. I don't know what the deal was with that. I don't remember what the deal was with that, but they should just be neutral. X is just neutral. So F7C. Typing in chat. F7C. And then, of course, we get to the issues of branch, right? So same sort of make a picture. Yeah. Make a picture. I mean, I might as well at this point. We're all eating crowns at this moment, right? So the branch thing, exactly. Crown draw it. Exactly, Desmond. That's what I was thinking. Branch is going to be kind of the same thing as what you can think of in terms of kind of a mix between like Tribute and how we treat Tribute and like how we treat Cloud Ring. There's zero reason for you to ever be in CRB space up in Branch. Anybody that's here in comms, unless you're in CRB, there's zero reason for you to be in CRB's space up in Branch. So you enter there at your own risk, even though they're allies and they're members of Razzle Dazzle, right? So they're set blue both ways. But beyond that, everybody else up there outside of VVV is not blue. And obviously, Alphabet Soup isn't either. So it's mostly THD is the main guys up there for AOA. But same sort of thing applies, right? So we can kind of think of, when you really lay that out and look at it on the map, the north, Cloud Ring all the way over to Tribute, circling around the north all the way down to Tribute again. Those are our areas. Those are our allies' areas outside of that part of Tenal and Branch where AOA are at. And so think of that as kind of allied space and just be cautious. People are going to die, and we're going to, some of us are going to die, some of them are going to die, and it's going to be like, oh shit moments, and it's going to be like, well, shit happens. And I'm not going to sit and answer 50 dispute tickets every fucking day because someone couldn't look or someone didn't know or someone didn't tell you, what we just laid out right here. Like, it's just not going to, I don't have time for that. Nox doesn't have time. Nox and I do not want to be DMing each other about disputes. This guy shot me, and that guy said I was a shoe, and this guy over here wanted to be in. I'm not doing it. Neither one of us have the patience for that. So
yeah, in the simplest terms, if there's a Trog person in Branch doing something that he arguably shouldn't be doing, just kill them.
There you go.
Whatever. If there's someone they're not supposed to be, shoot them. Don't DM me. Kill them. Yep. And then when they come to me like, oh, Big killed me, I'd be like, well, what are you doing?
Well, that's pretty pathetic. I'm really sorry. Big killed you? Oh boy.
I'd say 99% of times when I see things like this, from at least my experience, usually my person is somewhere that they arguably should have not been in the first place.
Yep.
I think that's a simple solution. If you are somewhere that you're doing something that the only reason you'd be able to do that specific thing is because you are blue, and you probably can imagine that people, whoever they are that live there or in that area, would not appreciate what you're doing, then, well, I expect you're probably going to end up dead.
Yep. Same mentality here. No difference. So we should be good at that point. I shouldn't see more dispute tickets. Which would be great.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. Any questions on all that? That was a lot to digest. I've answered a couple of questions as they've come up. Fancy Pants says, challenge accepted. Yeah. Uh-huh. Only way Big gets a kill. Yeah. You're funny. Where's Dune? Where's Dune's kill mells? When we pull up the rankings, I won't do that to you. I don't embarrass you live. We were better than Big. When? A year ago? 2 years ago, before Big one was formed? I don't know. How about Ethereum? Okay, so let's talk about Dronelands areas, because Nox and I discussed this a little bit last night too. So Cobalt, obviously with Calvala, it's just whatever, free for all. Okay, Calvala itself is free for all. We've known that for a long time. I pinged about that like the day after Calvala even was a thing. It opened up. It's a complete free for all in Calvala. So have fun. Go filament in and have a good time. Do your PvP, die, kill someone, come out. I don't care who it is, even if it's one of us. It doesn't matter. I've had some people tell me that that's not smart, that doesn't really help our resources or this, that, and then no, sorry, I'm not listening to that. That area is for PvP. It's specifically designed for PvP. It's specifically designed for free for all. So if you don't want that, don't go there. It's that simple. With Cobalt, Cobalt is ran by CBD, Cobalt Bullying Department. That's their baby. We've got some of Cobalt blue, some of them Cobalt not blue, and it's a little bit of a mixed bag up there. So we have a couple of Citadels anchored up there. You can clearly tell whose those are. It's Bot 5 and UFCG. basically. And that area is fine for you to go in. Should be all good, all blues. We all know who each other is, no issue. You're going anywhere else, and it's a crapshoot whether or not you're blue, and that's up to you. So it's up to you to go and risk it in the other places inside of Cobalt. So, if you got issues on that end of it, that's it. It's that plain and simple. There's really no need to even say anything else about Cobalt itself. Now with Ethereum. Ethereum is a bit of a tricky subject, honestly.
Yeah, I think we've come to a consensus about how to. So I haven't figured out what the open process is to this. I think the number one issue with ER is if you are someone who doesn't actively contribute to keeping all the other enemies out of the area, and the only reason you're going in there is to get things without giving, and the only reason that you can do that is because you're blue, then there's probably going to be problems. I think that's pretty much the same as the Cobalt's department's mentality, is that all the people that make Cobalt safe aren't there to enable people to come and profit from it. It's like if you want to be an active contributing member, then I'm pretty sure they welcome you. But if you're just, I'm going to come here and AFK rat and then leave when I get what I want, I don't think they're too fond of that. But I don't think we've really figured out how to make it that a viable thing or how exactly to perceive it that. But I think it's something we've got to iron out over the next little bit.
Yeah. Obviously, Trog has in Ethereum. I forget what. I know where they are. I can tell on the map, obviously, but I don't know what those systems names are. But there's no reason whatsoever for any one of us in Silent to be anyone in Razzle Dazzle period outside of Trog to be in those sovereignty systems. Do not expect to go over there and dock. Do not expect to be able to rat over there. Don't expect to be able to mine over there. That's kind of a major no-no. Like, you're gonna get shot, and don't come bawling to me about it. So it'd be no different if we were, I'm in Declan and I go over to a pocket and fade where Pand has a citadel, and I just start mining there carelessly and start running their anoms when a special one pops up, and not even talking to anybody and not giving a shit. And I start attracting, flies. And then before you know, you turn it into a ghetto. So that's not. It's a different scenario in Ethereum Reach than it is in regular anywhere else, from the standpoint of no local and the kind of defense they have to do on those citadels every effing week. So I think that's not asking anything at all as a hardship to anybody to say stay out of those sovereignty spots. So, yeah, somebody's gonna fuck this up, Bradrick. You're right, and that's just the way it is. It's difficult, right? We got a very trigger happy bunch. We're not a small group. We're all trigger happy. We all want kills. We all want to go out there and fight and have a good time. And I don't want to stop anybody from doing that, but I also don't want to stop my ability to be able to go and do that, or Nox's ability to be able to go and do that, because we're pulling our fucking hair out because we're shooting each other constantly. Like, so, that's the majority of what I've got for this conversation. Nox, you got anything else we need to add? That's short and sweet. I don't like long firesides.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too big, really.
Okay.
Just make sure everyone set F7C to avoid, for the love of God, please.
Yep. F7C, set avoid, don't go there. Make sure that everybody else who wasn't here understands that and knows that. And there we go. We got a question. Is there someone in Trog I can speak to about getting involved? Oh, what you mean, like with the defense and ER? Yeah, let Nox and I continue to talk about that a little bit and figure out what the best solution is there, because at this point, we don't, like Nox said, I don't think we have a consensus there. I don't think we have a set, cut and dry, this makes sense kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to anchor us. I don't want to see us anchor a citadel there and defend it and have to. No, thank you.
It's a complex thing for
Yeah.
sure.
Hats off to Trog for being able to do it, because it's like, fuck, it's a lot of work.
I think it's the big thing for people who don't know. The ER is like Taylor said, is a weekly defense. So CTAing every week.
Not because someone's shooting the sovereignty, but because that's the way it's designed. Those are specific citadels. They're not a normal citadel. They get anchored there, and they're always reinforced, and NPCs spawn at the citadels to kill them every weekend. So you have to defend that.
Yeah, there's a bit more to ER of things like that. So we gotta figure out how that'll work. There's not an easy decision answer one way or the other. So until we kind of figure that out, we'll come back to it.
Okay. Any questions in the meantime, just let us know. We'll go from there. And that's it. I'm good. Thanks for coming to the fireside.